What is up, guys? Oh, hey, your video paused. You should check on your internet, okay? You should get that checked out. Oh, just kidding. Okay, guys, I want to do a little story time about TBC WoW. Okay, so the TBC Classic World of Warcraft is in beta. Technically, it's not out yet, but it's out because you can level a Blood Elf, and that's really all that it matters for TBC. If you're playing your old character and you didn't reroll Blood Elf, um, you know, whatever. I don't know. You're not a weeb. I don't know. It's whatever, right? But the story is about how good of a zone like Ghostlands is, especially compared to like modern day zones, right? So, like the Ghostlands starts off right, and the whole premise of it is like that's where the Scourge still has like Quel'Thalas, right, and that's what like separated Eversong Woods from like the Ghostlands, like before it was all Quel'Thalas, right? Okay, so what I like about this zone, right, and it really just leads up to like one quest kind of deal and like what you can do and how you interact with other people. But really, like you start off and you go back and you kind of like, you really don't do this because the game wasn't that advanced back then. But like, you pretty much what you do is like you went and reclaimed like all the little like the old villages. I think there's like 3 villages you go and like fight to reclaim, and then you do like Windrunner Spire, which is like really lore important as well because you get this really awesome. So there's a pendant or a necklace that drops, and it's Sylvanas Windrunner's sister, I think Illyria, which is the one that like it's like came back in Legion, I think, but was like lost at that point. Which leads to a really cool thing. Like back in the day, you take it all the way to Undercity, and like the Banshees was singing for you. So pretty dope. So that's a really cool quest as well. They like kind of pulled out all the guns because back then that just didn't happen. Like now you're like if you just played WoW, like Warlords of Draenor up, Mists of Pandaria up, you'd be like, what is special about that? Or Cataclysm up, I'll say. Well, Wrath of the Lich King up. I don't, whatever. I'm trying to talk about the Ghostlands. So get off the rest of this stuff. So yeah, that was a pretty cool quest. But so you like kind of retaking the whole thing. You're trying to like dwindle down Scourge forces by like going to the Dead Scar, which used to be terrifying as a kid, and I just realized I was really dumb because it's like not that bad. And then there's some other parts like you fight trolls, which does lead into like later lore or future or like past lore, but later lore as well because the raid comes out Zul'Aman. That kind of expands on that. I mean, it's kind of a weird deal to be playing a game that's like from the past, but now it's current. So like lore that we already know about because it's already been made in the game, but it's not in the game yet. It's kind of confusing. But yeah, but regardless of that, right? As you kind of progress to the zone, like as you kind of retake the cities, you also just do like the usual quests, like kill 10 of these. Like, I need some spider legs. And then you kill one spider, and you're like, is there not like a spider has 8 legs? Like, why is there no legs? Like, what did I do to it? Like, am I a monster? Am I a masochist? Like, am I just ripping off legs everywhere? Regardless, right? So you kind of do all that, right? But also there's 2 giant like abominations that walk around that you have to kill, which is always cool. Like elite quests are always something you remember because you have to get a group and you kind of remember the people and like whether or not like it was a perfect, like if it's kind of perfect, like nowadays sometimes it can be a little too perfect. Like you get a nice little group, you kill it really quick. But like back in the day, like I always loved the scuffed, like the paladin would bubble and like auto attack and then auto attack and like maybe heal and like kill it and you'd be like yeah, because you were dead because you were a noob. But so okay, so you get there. So you get to a quest called the Twin Ziggurats, right? And the reason why this quest is important is because it gives you an item, right? You either get the Blade of Sunwell, which is what I took because I was a paladin, and I don't know what the orb is called, but you get like an offhand for like casters. I'm going to assume it's called the Orb of the Sunwell or like something, or the offhand weapon of the Sunwell. And what it does is it does 500 damage and silences Darkon, which is like the main baddie. And actually, like lore wise, he's actually like a really bad guy because he's like the reason why Arthas could penetrate Quel'Thas defenses, right? So, but you get this, and it'll do 500 damage, and it's also silences him, which is important because he has a fear. So you make your way through death into, it's called Death Home, which is a citadel, which truly I never knew like what it was about, but like I think lore wise it used to be like the mother tree of Eversong Woods or Forest. I don't remember what it's called. But so you like go through there, right? And the reason why I want to make this video is because when I talked about like scuffed attempts, I just recently finished the Ghostlands on my Paladin. Well, it was like a week ago now, but I haven't played much since then, so it was just recently for me. And I really got what like they were going for. Like when they developed this quest, it was actually like super. To be honest with you, I've never played D&D before. Like I've always tried to start a campaign, but never got to it. But it's like super D&D. Like I can infer because it's like kind of sets up like here's this item. If your whole group has it, you can literally just nuke the boss. Like you can literally just one person use it, whatever. So that's like the intended thing is like you're supposed to have like this empowered sword of the Sunwell, right? And you're gonna go freaking just pwn the guy who betrayed your whole race, right? Like I mean that sounds bad in our context because like if you're like I'm gonna the betrayer of my race, I'm gonna go get him. It's like you just be called like you probably get like punched, you know what I'm saying? But like in the context of World of Warcraft, like for Quel'Thalas, Ashnal Lore, or I don't know, I can't remember. Like I was trying to remember all the words and then I froze in front of the camera. But you're like, so it's like the idea is right. Like you get there, you're in Death Home, you've done all the quests, you killed his lieutenants, you're in the main baddie deal, you fought your way to him, right? He's down there in a little crib looking dumb, like. I'm a bad guy. Like, you know what I'm saying? So you get your group, right? In my group in particular, we started off, and it was just me and this dude who was doing the other quests with me. He had actually already done it, but he was just going to help me, right? And so, like, we started off, right? And we, like go down, we, like, pull him, and we're like, hey, I looked it up. He has 3,700 health, right? We both have our Blades of the Sunwell. So, like, I don't know if they stack, so let's not use them right at the same time, but, like, I'll pull with mine. It'll do 500 damage and silence him. Like when he go, I forgot about the whole like horror or fear or whatever. I think it's called horror, but like it's a fear. And so I forgot about that. I was like, so you use yours after. That'll be like 1,000 damage. Like really, like theoretically, we should be able to pump out like 2,700 before we die, right? So we do that, right? We use it. He uses his. It works out fine. We're like halfway. He horrors us, and like we run right into other mobs, and we die, right? Luckily, like we didn't have to wait too long. 2 other people actually ended up showing up, and then we invited them to the group. So it was another paladin, the original mage I was with. I don't know why they chose the Sunwell blade instead of the orb, but regardless, they did. Well, maybe I don't know. It could have been an upgrade, but I think it gives you like strength. So. Tardo, and a troll priest, which was really weird, but it was like the perfect like combination. But the other paladin was going to tank, right? So we're like at the top of the hallway. Instead of pulling him out because there's like 2 other mobs in there, but they also have they're necromancers, so they have skeleton guys or whatever. Instead of like pulling him out so it doesn't pull that, and then we just silence him because we're all blood elves besides the troll. When he like horrors us, right? Because we now know this. He like runs in there and pulls everything, right? And so I'm like, we'll just screw it, right? And he doesn't have like the Sunwell blade or anything. Like he's just like, what do I need that for? Like, no, we'll tank and spank this, right? And so I'm like, okay. So I just rush in. Like I couldn't say anything. I couldn't type fast enough. I was trying to type, but then like it was halfway through, so I had to like backspace real quick because I want to half type something and like run in, right? So I'm like, Blade of the Sunwell, attack! And Darkon was like, resist. I didn't feel that. Shadow Bolt, like, and I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. Like this is so fucked up, right? So what ends up happening is the mage does like a lot. Well, they do an AoE, right? And so we pull back, they do an AoE, so it actually kind of saves us. But now all the aggro's on the mage, and so they all the ads go and chase the mage. And like this mage, I forgot to tell you, like when we were questing before, anytime like she got attacked, she would just run away. Like she wouldn't like sit there and just whatever. She'd run away, pull like other mobs and stuff. So it really felt like I was playing back in the day because that's something I would have done. Like, oh no, I can't get hit. Like I'm a caster. What would I do? And so we like me and the other paladin there, like the priest kind of follows the mage and is like trying to heal her and like do dots and stuff. And she's like typing while she's doing this, like, help us with the ads. You're so stupid. Help us with the ads. Well, like you can't see the health, right? Like this isn't modern where you can't see exactly how much health you have, right? But I think we're at like 15%. So me and this paladin are just like, because that's all you do as a paladin, right? The female paladin gets down like this and it's like, I wish you could see my full body because I'm like bent down. Exactly how they do it, right? Because you have a shield and she's like, but I was like a two-handed blood elf, so I was like, like, you know, but you don't do any damage. You're just like auto-attacking. But I did have the Blade of Tranquillion, right, which is a rep reward for Tranquillion, the mini rep, which is another cool thing about the Ghostlands, just so you guys know. There's rep. It doesn't mean anything because if you just do the quest, you're going to get exalted, but like it's cool because I got that sword and it doesn't have like 108 damage on hit effect, and it procced actually a bunch of times during this fight. Okay, so we're getting down right at 15%, right? The ads come back and they're like, you're so stupid. I mean, literally this priest is like, you're so stupid. We almost had it. Like, what are you doing, right? Well, they go on the tank paladin and me too as well. Like it's split, right? And so we're attacking it and we're like 5%, right? The other, I bubble. I'm like, shoot. Like I thought I preemptively, like I thought I did it too quick, right? So I bubble, right? And I got it, right? Well, then I literally auto-attacked it, dude, and the other paladin died, and I killed him while still in bubble, healed myself and ran out, and they're like, you butthole, like, why would you do that? Well, then I went and revived him, it didn't matter, but, like, they didn't know I killed him, like, so they're like, oh, what, you killed him? And it was just amazing because it was so scuffed. Like, it did not, like, I didn't get used my Blade of the Sun well. No one else used theirs, like, the mage was the only other one that had the Blade of the Sun well as well, right? And she ran away. Like, she didn't use it on him. She ran away. The priest didn't have it either. I don't know why. Like, I don't know if they just, like, didn't read it and they sold it because it wasn't as good as what they had. Because I think the priest was using it staff. So I think they just looked at both and were like, this is useless. And whatever. And I don't know. I really don't know why the paladin had it because they were a tank. So, like, a one-handed weapon would have been it's pretty good, actually, I think, at that point. So, but it was, like, so scuffed. And it was just, like, I laughed about it after I turned in and I was going away and thinking about like how I'm going to miss the Ghostlands because it was like such a nostalgia trip for me. And it was just like, here's what the developers intended. We all four show up. We all have our Sunwell Blade. We shoot it on him. It does 2,000 damage and silences him the whole time. So he can't cast, right? That means we have to do 1,700 damage. Well, I don't really know how much damage that is compared to other things. But like considering like at that point, our auto attacks are doing like 50 damage. Like my seals are doing like, you know, another 50 so damage. You know, if we all auto attack like once every 2 seconds, I mean, so let's just say we do about 75 damage every 2 seconds, right? Well, 70, you know, whatever, it doesn't matter the math, but it's like we would have killed him really fast, but like we didn't do that. No one did that. I used my Blade of the Sun well, it got resisted. The mage ran away. The other paladin didn't have the blade at all. They sold it. And the priest was just like a troll priest that had no reason for being there, right? And so, guys, like I'm telling you, if you didn't play World of Warcraft back in the day, maybe the magic's like not there because it is like a recreation, right? It kind of be like if they like completely reprinted base set Pokemon again, like XY Evolutions. No, but I mean like, you know, it's kind of like XY Evolutions. It feels great when you're doing it, but it's not the same thing. But it feels so good. So, like, if you have a chance, guys, I'm telling you, go pay the sub fee. Play Classic TBC. I guarantee you won't regret it. At least the leveling. Like, play a Blood Elf. You'll love the zone. You'll love the nerdiness. You know, you'll love that feel of it. It's just, like, amazing because it's, like, the perfect, like, idyllic place. And then you're kind of in the woods. And then you're like, what's this? Like, you go to the old city and you're like, okay, things aren't looking good. Like, I know it was a mess in the starting zone, but it's not looking good in this city. It's robots and drug addicts, like, straight up. And then you're like, okay, can't get worse than that. Then you literally go and it's like, no, there's just a giant, like, dead patch scar through the middle of the zone, and it's full of dead monsters, right? And then like the same deal, it's like you got drug addicts, dead monsters, trolls trying to kill you, you know, like your old pets and magical creations just like coming out of the woodworks. And in the middle of it, you're doing a quest for some rich guy to go get his party stuff so you can come to his party. So, you know what? 11 out of 10 would waste my life again. Guys, that's all for me. Peace out. Like, comment, subscribe. Maybe when I get into my new house, guys, and I get the setup going, I'll actually like play some footage in the background of what I did. But right now, my wife's pregnant. I have 2 kids. I play really late at night where I'm kind of tired and I don't want to like record what I'm doing and I can't talk very loud. So I'd be like, oh guys, this quest is really cool. And then they'd be like, oh my DT, shut up, I'm trying to sleep. And I'll be like, oh, yes, honey, I love you. I'm so sorry. Let me come rub your feetsies. I really hope you guys don't watch till now because it would be embarrassing. So, peace out.